Hey guys, we're in the bathroom again because I like the lighting and the vocals is really nice in here. Alright, so today's lesson is what we're going to do is actually continue off on what we did yesterday. Remember, we only did 4 out of the 6 for our scientific method. Now we're going to do the last 2. Also, sorry about the intro, it didn't work yesterday. Sorry, my bad, I didn't look at all of it. It's going to work today. I double checked, so enjoy it, and then I'll see you in a little bit.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Alright, so if you remember from yesterday, this is a scientific method. It's the 6 steps. We did the first 4, which were make an observation, ask a question, form a hypothesis, make a prediction based on the hypothesis. The ones that we're missing, which we're going to do today, are test the prediction, determine if the hypothesis is right, which is our conclusion. So remember, yesterday we did the first 4 about the 5 negative effects humans have on the Earth. So we're going to continue off from there. So you're going to use the same you're going to go the same experiment or the same cause reason from yesterday's assignment. You're just going to add on the last 2. So you're going to add on the test the prediction. So when we say test the prediction, basically you're going to make an experiment. And when we conduct an experiment, these are going to be the 3 things you have to include in your experiment. You need an independent variable. So independent variable is just something that you or I change. So you'll see in a little bit what I mean by independent variable. And then a dependent variable is going to be like the thing that you want to see, like the reaction to, like what this dependent variable is going to change because of this independent variable. So the amount, the data, figure, whatever number the dependent variable is going to record is going to change because of your independent variable. So that's what it is. And then you need a minimum of 2 groups, so 2 separate groups. So right here's a little chart where I made. So we have IV, which is your independent variable. For this experiment, I'm going to do air pollution, so I'm going to do the amount of cars. The amount of cars is the independent variable, the thing that I change. The number of whatever you're going to do to change, or whatever you're changing between both the groups, because everything else is going to stay the same. So we have group 1 and group 2. It's going to be the amount of cars. I have 1.5 million cars in group 1, and then I have group 2 is going to be 150,000 cars. So that was the independent variable. I changed the amount of cars. So for your experiment, your independent variable is going to be something that you change. It could be the amount of cars, it could be the amount of something, it could be different colors, different times, different time length. So whatever your experiment is, or whatever your negative effect is, just make sure that your independent variable is the one thing that you change between the 2 groups. And then right here, everything's going to stay the same in the groups. It's going to be the same car, they're going to drive the same distance. Group 2, same car, same distance between the 2. So like the independent variable should be the only thing that you change between the 2 groups. And then your dependent variable, that's the thing that we're recording. So we're recording CO2 emissions. I know it's written out poorly, but hey, you've been with me a year, you know my handwriting's not the best. So the dependent variable is the thing that changes because of the independent variable. So the dependent variable right now is going to be the amount of CO2 emissions. So the amount of CO2 that's emitted is going to vary between these 2 groups because of the amount of cars. So that's what the dependent variable is, what you're really focused on looking at. Also, for the dependent variable, it's going to be our set of data, our data. You're going to use this data to determine if your hypothesis is right. So that's where we do the last part. Your the conclusion part is going to be based off of your dependent variable to see if your hypothesis is right. So for this experiment, I would say my hypothesis was the amount of cars affect the amount of CO2 emissions. And then once we do the whole experiment, we conduct an experiment with these 3 bullet points, and then at the end, when we have our dependent variable, the things that's recorded at the end, our data, it's the amount of CO2. So I'm gonna make it up. So let's just say that for group 2, since it's a lower amount of cars, it has a lower amount of emissions, and group 1 has a higher amount of cars, so it'd be a higher amount of emissions. So I could use that data, and then I could determine if my hypothesis was correct, and in this case, it was. So one more thing, you have to tell me if your hypothesis was right or wrong. So I'll put it in here a little bit, right there, you see. So you have to say if your hypothesis was correct or not. So after you say that your hypothesis was right or wrong, that's it. So that's the end of today's assignment, where all you had to do was just do the test of the prediction, which is just conduct an experiment. I would like it in a little chart like this if you can. If not, that's fine, you can write it out, but just a little chart. I'll provide the template and you guys just fill it in, and then for your hypothesis, just say if it was right or wrong, and then you have to tell me why your hypothesis was right or wrong. So that's it, your assignment. Have fun.